Hey guys, welcome back. In this lecture we're talking about code stack. In this lecture we'll continue with objects. Open your coding editors and let's navigate to playground.js and let's comment our previous code. So I will select everything here and just press Ctrl or Command and slash like this. Perfect. Now let's create here a new function. So export default function and let's start writing our code. And we'll be talking about objects. And I told you before, objects are very useful for storing complex data. So when you need to store multiple data in one place, objects are a perfect spot for this. Okay, so I will create here object, and as I told you before, I will be using now const or a let. So instead of a var, we will use here const. Like this. And let's create here object, let's say person. Okay, so simple person. We need to assign here object, so equal sign, and let's assign here object, so curly brackets, and now we are creating empty object. To the object we can assign properties. So on this person object I can create multiple properties. Let's say I want to have here my name, so person name will be, let's say first name. So first name will be my first name, alright, and my last name will be my last name, so last name will be property of the last name, and a value will be my last name string. Perfect. We can also get here age, so let's write here property of age. Alright, so age will be 28. So you can see I can assign here multiple types of data. I have here strings, I have here numbers, I can create here functions, I can create here other objects, I can create here actually whatever I want into an object. Okay, and this is a reference as a key, this first name, and then Philip is a value. Or you can reference first name as a property of a person object. Okay, object is just a structure of a key and a value pairs. Okay, so you can see we have always here a pair of a key and a value. But a key can be also another object, but I will show it to you very, very soon. Okay, so we have here age. Let's continue, and maybe we want to get here some function. So we can create here a function, let's say print user info, and syntax for a function is like this. So I will write here print user info, normal bracket for a function, and now curly brackets for a function body. But there are multiple ways how you can create a functions on an object. So this is the first way, okay? And I think this is a most used one, and I will be using this syntax through the lectures, but I will show you also the other ways. Okay, so let's comment this for now, and I will show you the other way how you can write a function. So you can use also print user info, now colon as you're writing here, property, and now here brackets like this, or actually here a function, normal brackets for a function parameters, and a curly brackets for a function body. Okay, so this is the second way, but you also have an option to use arrow function, and note that I will be talking about arrow functions in a next lecture. Okay, so you can also use this print user info, the arrow function like this, but I will be talking about the syntax in the next lecture. For now I will comment all of this, and I will be using print user info here. So what we can do, we can just print user info. So let's say console log, and I will say here hello and first name plus my last name, and maybe we can display also age. Okay, so hello, and how can I display my first name? How can I access my property on an object? I can use this context, so simply this as this. Okay, so this is called this context. And with this context, instead of an object, I can assign my properties. So I can say here hello, here space, plus this, and then my first name, and a plus space, and a plus my last name. So this last name. And also this you can write differently. You can use string interpolation. It's much simpler. I will show it to console log, and I will write here backticks. So this is a symbol next to a Y on your keyboard, at least on my keyboard, so this backticks like this. And now you will write here hello. Now you can use string interpolation, so I can write here $ curly brackets, and inside I will write my variable. So this dot first name, and now space after, now again, $ curly brackets, and this last name, I can write here age, hello Filibierga of age, and now colon, and now $ curly brackets again, and this age. Okay, so you can see it's much simpler than write all the time pluses. When I want to make a space, I need to make here a separate space, and like this, when you're writing with a string interpolation, it's much clearer and easier to write, I think. But it's up to you what syntax you will choose here. Okay, I will choose the second one. All right, and I will write here also debugger, because I would like to show you this context. Okay, so let's go down here and let's start using our object. So let's say here our person. When you want to call property or a function on your object, you need to assign here. You can access it with a dot syntax or square bracket syntax. For now, let's use dot syntax. So I can use here person dot and name of my function on this object. So print user info. When I want to call this function, of course, I need to execute this. So I need to provide here normal brackets for execution. All right, perfect. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Let's inspect this page, and when I will refresh this page, you should see I'm getting inside of my code. All right, so as you can see, I called here print user info on a person, and I got inside of a print user info where I am now. All right, very interesting. I scrolled too much, I think. Here, print user info. And as I told you, on this context, you have access to all of your properties. So I can access here age, first name, last name, and print user info is all of the available here. You have here also proto object. This is something related to inheritance. We will be not talking about right now. Maybe later, but really in the context of this course, it's not really that important. But maybe we'll take a look on this later. But for now, you can see here object with a property key, first name, last name, and all of this is accessible when you hover over this context. So when I will call this, I can access my function, my properties, and so on. And that's why when I will get here, I will display my first name, last name, and age. You will open a console, and you will see all of your data here. Hello, Filibierga of age 28. So this is working amazing. All right, let's continue with this a little bit more. I'll close this. Let's go back to our coding editors. All right, and I will create here another object on my person. So let's say I would like to have here some maybe helpers function or some maybe helpers properties. I will write here helpers like this. This is a key, and a value will be object itself. So I will write here curly brackets. All right, and in helpers object, I will write, let's say, helper variable, so just some testing variable, helper variable, and I will assign here number or string testing variable. All right, I will create here helping variable number 2, and it will be testing variable number 2 like this, and I will create here helper function, so helper function, or just a helper func like this. I can write here different syntax for now, so like I'll write here this syntax. Oops, not like this, but function, of course, here, and function body. And let's console log out here. Let's console log out this first name only. All right, and let's write here debugger. And let's access this function. So when you want to access this function, you need to write here person as before. We want to access now helpers on this object. So I need to access here dot helpers. Now I'm on helpers, and on helpers, I would like to access helper function. So dot helper func, and the normal brackets for function execution. Let's save this, and let's go back to our browsers. Okay, and I need to inspect again and refresh. Okay, so now you can see we are getting instead of a print the user info. That's okay, because we have here still debugger, but I will forward this execution to next debugger. So let's click here resum script execution. This should get you to helper func, and you can see here you're accessing this context again, but this context here is different. As you can see, now we have access to helper func, to helper variable, and helper variable too. So here we have a different context of a helper object, of course. Okay, so I cannot access here anymore my person first name, last name, and age. Okay, guys, so this is very important to know. In a next lecture, I'll be talking more about this context and how maybe fix such things, but actually we don't need to fix anything here because it's correct behavior. We are creating separate context for our objects here, and that's totally correct. All right, so I just wanted to show you that when you create some additional level on your object and you want to access this context, you have a different this context of a current object you are inside of. All right, so let's continue. Let's go back to our coding editors. And now I will remove from here debugger, and of course we can console log here these helper variables, for example. So this helper variable. Perfect. Now let's scroll down here and I will show you how you can access your properties differently. So I showed you this dot syntax, this most used syntax, but you have also option to use square bracket syntax. So for example, if I would like to access print user info on my person, I could do it like this. Person, now square bracket syntax, and I could access here print user info. So print user info. Now I'm accessing my function, and of course I need to execute it. So after I'll write normal brackets. All right, let's do the same with the function. So here I want to access my helper function. So person dot, and actually we are using square brackets. So now helpers, and here I want to access another level. So helper func. So helper func, and I want to execute this. So this is exactly the same. I will comment this, and you will see that we will get also to our debugger, we will execute this function. So let's go back to our browsers. Let's refresh, and you will see I will get into my print user info again back, and also to my, actually remove debugger from here, but you should see here console log of a helper variable, testing variable. Perfect, let's go back. And square bracket is very useful when you want to get your keys dynamically. So let's say you have some variable, I will call it key. All right, and here I will get key of my property I would like to access to. So let's say key will be my print user info. So print user info, and this key can change over time. Okay, you can imagine this key can change over time, or maybe I want to assign its value dynamically while my code is running. And then when I want to access property of my object by this key, I just need to write here person, now square brackets, and I want to get here our key. All right, so I'm accessing person. You can imagine inside of this key is the value print user info. So this is the same as writing this part, and then I want to execute it. So this should have a same result. I will comment this part. All right, and let's go back to our browser. So now I should call print user info. When I will refresh, you will see indeed I'm getting into my print user info. Maybe it will be useful to write a debugger also here. By the way, when you don't want to write a debugger, you can also search your code. You can find a line where you want to place the debugger. All right, so for example, here I would like to get on this line here, bar key, where we are assigning print user info. And I will click here only on this line number, so 206. This will create a breakpoint. So breakpoint is same stuff as a debugger. When I will refresh this, so I will refresh this page, I should get instead of this bar key. You'll see I stopped here on this breakpoint. All right, you can see I'm assigning to a variable key print user info. So I have here in a key print user info string. When I want to access my person, I'm saying access me person on a key print user info. Okay, so this will access print user info and then execute this. And that's what's happening here. I am getting inside of my debugger here, and I'm consoling log out these informations. All right, a little bit more. Let's continue with this. And you can pass also values to your functions to objects. They're normal functions, as I already showed you. So you can pass your values normally. I can pass here any value. So let's say I can pass here hello world string. I can pass here maybe some function. Maybe I want to get here some functions of function, and I'll write here console log hello world. You can pass your numbers, anything you want, you can pass your object. So this will get instead of your function. So in this case, print user info, or maybe we want to change this key in this case. So I will get here var key1, and it will be print something. print something, all right, and it will be key1, and we want to access here key1 here, and we will get here print something. So let's copy this function name, and let's create this function here. So I will create here print something. Let's say I will get here some params. I can call it param, or yeah, let's call it very generic param, and I can just console log this param. All right, like this. Let's save this, and now you should see in a console function and also this hello world variable we just provided. So you can see hello world and this function we just provided to this function on an object. And of course, you can also execute this function you are passing, so you can execute params in a case they are functions, but right now I don't know what I'm passing here because I cannot execute a string. So instead of this, I will comment this line because this wouldn't make a sense. So I will comment this line hello world, and here I will rename this for a, let's say, callback. Usually you call function that you are passing to other functions callbacks. And I will just say here, I can also remove console log, and I can say callback, and let's execute this because I'm expecting to receive here a function. All right, let's save this, or actually let's write here debugger like this. All right, let's go back to our browsers. Okay, so you can see now we are getting here a callback. These are function. You can find this function here. We have been passing. Okay, we have a little bit problem scrolling. So person.key, square brackets key is actually I cannot access it right now because I'm in different context. I will write here a breakpoint. I will refresh this browser and I should get to this line. So let's see now. You can see I'm accessing here person on a key, print something. I am sending inside of a function, which is a console log hello world. When I will click here this down arrow, I will get the function here. So I'm inside of a print something. I send here our callback, which is a console log hello world. When I will click here, I can also maybe find this function. So I click this, and you will see this was called from here. All right. And then I'm executing simply this function. Okay, because I send here function declaration. When I want to execute function, I need to provide normal brackets. So when I will click here this down arrow and I will jump inside of a callback, this should get me to our console log hello world, and I should console log hello world. Alright guys, so we are almost done with this lecture. Before we'll finish, I have just mini assignment for you. So let's go to your coding editors and let's wait a second, and I will give you an assignment. Here it is. Okay, so create a dog object, create a dog properties, name, age, and a breed. Create a function to display name, age, and a breed of the dog. Change name with a dot syntax and an age with a square bracket syntax. Okay, and this is something you need to research. So after object is created, okay, I will do comment. After object is created, change values. Okay, so and comment research because I didn't show it to you yet. So change the name of the dog with a dot syntax and a change age of a dog with square bracket syntax. All right, so after dog is created, you can change these values you assigned before, and also check type of a dog. So you can use this type of in JavaScript to check a type of any variable and check a type of a dog you have created. All right, guys, so go ahead, you can start working on this, and I will work on this right now. All right, so down here I will write const dog. All right, and let's specify here a name. This will be, let's say, Rex. All right, age will be 4, and breed will be German Shepherd. So German Shepherd. All right, then let's continue the function. Function is a display name like this. Let's console log out here. I'll write here backtick. So I'll write here name of the dog, age, and a breed. So hello. $, curly brackets, and name. So this name and hello Rex. Okay, so this will be hello Rex and of breed. Okay, so of this breed and age of, and now $, curly brackets, this age. Perfect. So display name. All right, and actually we could rename this function because we are not displaying only name, so I will rename it for a display info. I even specify here name of this function, so it's totally up to you what name you choose here. And now when the dog is created, I can change here some values. Okay, so for example, I can change here name of this doc. So I can access here doc. I can access my property with a dot syntax or a arrow syntax or a square bracket syntax. So I can access here doc dot name, and I can change it for, let's say, Fluffy. All right, and I can change age here. So let's say doc dot, or actually it was specified here with a square bracket syntax. So square brackets, and I want to change here age, and this will be, let's say, 9. All right, and now I will check here type of these objects. All right, here type of, or actually it can be in a console log, and a type of, and let's say rdoc. All right, and what else we have here? And I think that's it. We will just call here a function and doc.display info like this, and I will write debugger here. Alright guys, so that was your assignment. Let's verify if everything is working for you, and if something you made it differently, no worries, it's totally up to you. Let's save this. Let's go back to our browsers. Alright, I will inspect this, and let's see our object. Refresh. Okay, so I'm getting to my previous code. I will forward this to our next debugger, which is a p4 rdoc. Okay, you can inspect your doc here. Okay, doc here with the age, breed, display info, and a name. Now I'm accessing my name, which was previously, you can see a Rex, so dog name, and I'm assigning here Fluffy. So you will see now my dog name will be Fluffy. And also I'm changing age. So when I will get here, my dog will be with the age of a 9. Here I'm consoling log out type of doc, and this will be of course object. So when you will go to console, you should see here object. All right, and now I'm calling doc display info. When I will click here down arrow, I will get instead of my function display user info, and this will console log out hello, this name, breed, and the age. So when I will forward this execution, you should see in a console hello Fluffy or German Shepherd and age of 9. Alright guys, so that was your assignment for object. With the objects, we'll continue a little bit more in the next lecture. If you have been successful with the assignment, very good job. If not, no worries, we are just starting, you are learning, and that's normal process. So guys, that's it, and I hope to see you in the next lecture. Cheers guys.